Good afternoon, I'm Jennifer Christian and I work as a portfolio specialist in the investment management team, and I'm going to provide you with a brief overview of this week's market summary. Global equity markets rallied strongly this week on hopes that China is succeeding in containing the spread of the coronavirus, and as a result, the outbreak won't significantly affect the global economy. Sentiment was also supported by economic data, which suggests that the global economy has started the year strongly. However, while we have argued that the coronavirus is likely to be a transient worry for equity markets, we would caution against the speed of this week's recovery, as it may be slightly premature. The current euphoria feels like equity markets are being too complacent, that the worst of the coronavirus is already over. While there is a reasonable chance that by the end of the year, the coronavirus could simply look like a hiccup for global growth, we do need to be mindful of the short-term impact on China and the knock-on impacts for the rest of the world. Now, there are lots of production facilities outside of China that are already experiencing disruptions, given today's just-in-time manufacturing and supply chains. For example, Hyundai Motor this week said it is stopping car production in South Korea because of a component shortage caused by the coronavirus. Additionally, Burberry, which is held in clients' discretionary portfolios, today warned that coronavirus is hurting its Chinese sales, as it has closed 24 of its 64 shops in the country. Obviously, the longer Chinese factories and shops remain closed, the greater the impact, as the knock-on effects may start to compound. However, perversely, if Chinese factories and shops reopen over the next week or so, the battle to contain the virus could suffer a setback as more people come into contact with each other. Now, although we remain positive on equities over the long term, particularly those in Asia and emerging markets, given the current uncertainties and potential for equity market volatility, we are maintaining our short-term cautious stance with a slightly higher than normal level of cash, which includes liquidity funds. Away from the coronavirus, US employers continued hiring in January and wage growth rebounded. Non-farm payrolls increased by 225,000 and hourly earnings climbed to 3.1%, although a rise in the labour market participation rate meant the unemployment rate edged up to 3.6% from 3.5%. Now, on a final note, we'd like to remind you that we are approaching the end of the tax year, and if you have not yet taken advantage of your ISA allowance, now's the time to act. The current limit is £20,000, and if you don't use it by the 5th of April, you will lose it. Contact us using the details found in your email to start the process. Now, that's all from me this week, and don't forget, if you haven't already, you can also read a more detailed insight into matters affecting the markets in the email.